Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on the farm was a stalker McNugget chicken, E-I-E-I-O. Nugget! And a nugget here and a nugget there. Everywhere I go, there's a nugget there. Old MacDonald had a farm, stalkers, oh. Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. There's just stalkers and weirdos everywhere.
Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
What are you doing?
I was busy, sorry.
What are you doing?
Using my handy dandy.
Oh, okay, alright. That's fine. You think that's funny, don't you?
Yeah.
Why? It sounds like you're already at a high brat level.
No, I'm depleted and I had a couple orgasms, so I'm fine. I'll be good.
Jessi, you're not supposed to talk to me about your orgasms.
You're not the maker of the laws of the universe.
Well, I mean, you're just not supposed to do that.
Okay, well, too bad.
So
Shouldn't have bought me a toy.
no, we had this talk earlier. Like it doesn't matter.
No, too bad, so sad.
I have a serious question for you.
Oh goodness.
If I read this story, are you going to brat mode at all?
No, I just want a story to help me fall asleep too.
All right, it's not a scary story, but it's a book that I started reading, so it's not a scary story, I said.
Okay. Scary.
What?
Nothing.
Do you not want me to read it, or yes?
I just don't want it to be scary.
I literally just said it's not scary.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
And no bratting at all. Like, I don't want any of it. I'm being serious. The first time you brat, I'm out, and we can try again another night.
If I don't like the story.
Well, if you don't, no, I'm not reading. I'm reading to a story that I was already reading. So I'm going to read the story to you, and you're going to just lay down and you're going to relax, and I'm going to read the story. If you don't like my story, then we can. It's a story about an army guy, like a regular guy who goes off and joins the army, but it's like a character study. It's not a war book.
Okay.
All right. Now, do you want to say like a quick prayer or a summary of your day or anything before you go to bed? Well, let's do this. I used to do this when I was younger. Listen, this is actually really good. What was the best part of your day today?
Making music.
Okay, and what was the worst part of your day?
Talking to you.
Now, see, now I know you don't mean that. So, and actually, if the worst part of your day is talking to me, that means you had a really good day because you look forward to talking to me. So that means you had an amazing day. So good for you because you went and took fall pictures. You went to a fancy restaurant. You had a burr that you drank. It looks like you had a really good day. So the best part of your day was getting down and making. Did you finish the new Green Frog song?
I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, green frog.
It was always me.
Green
frog, you're too dumb to see. You just sub to my channel, inviting me on your panel. Green frog, it was always me. Yeah. What do you think of that?
Yeah. All right, read your story and I will slumber.
All right. Did you want to say a quick prayer? I can say it with you. I can lead you on it.
Okay. Please have Westmost go away because he is a cockroach, and he will.
Cockroach hung out with Theo. But how am I going to read you a story when you're talking to me like that, Jessi? Do you understand how favors work? Because I think sometimes you get confused. No.
All right, go on.
Are you ready for me?
Yeah.
Do you want a little background music or just the story?
The story.
You sure? I could turn on a little like soft. I think I can open up YouTube and turn like a little soft background music to go with it, like a little lo-fi music. Okay. Do you want me to use one of the voices or the auto tune?
No.
Just the story.
Story.
Aaron left his house in Bloomington, Indiana, and drove to school in the 1996 white Ford Taurus his mom brought for him as an early graduation present. It was a cold December morning and the roads were slippery from the fresh layer of snow that had fallen the night before. He reached over and pressed the power button on his new Pioneer AM/FM radio CD player that he had just had installed professionally at the local garage. He flipped through the channels until he found the local country station so he could hear the weather report for the day before arriving at the local school. He smiled when the newscaster's report said that it would be sunny and clear all day. Aaron knew the Army recruiter was scheduled to be at school that day and didn't want the weather to force him to reschedule. Ever since the terrorist attack of 9/11, Aaron knew what he wanted to do after graduation. His heart was set on going to Iraq and fighting for the freedom of the United States and the freedom of the Iraqi citizens. Pulling into the school parking lot, Aaron weaved through a couple rows of cars and trucks that belonged to other students until he finally found a parking space. Gathering up his backpack, he got out of his car and made his way to the school in his homeroom, his mind on meeting with the Army recruiter. The bell rang at 11 a.m. Aaron had 45 minutes to eat lunch and talk to the Army recruiter. He gathered his books off his desk and walked to his locker. His friend Derek was waiting for him when he got there. Oh, shit. Sorry, my face hit my phone. You still sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Aaron, he said as Aaron reached his locker. Hey, Derek, what's... Maybe I shouldn't do that voice. Maybe, because I was thinking like non-racist Latino vampire could be Aaron. You know what I mean? So like, hey, Derek, what's up? Aaron replied. Not much. Just thought I'd see if you wanted to ride to the store with me for lunch. I can't today. You know what? I don't think that voice is really, it's like conducive to you sleeping. You know what I mean? What?
You could only do a few voices.
No, I do lots of voices. Like he can sound like you. Not much. Just thought I'd see if you wanted to ride to the store with me for lunch. That's what Derek will sound like. I can't today. The Army recruiter is here and I'm going to talk to him right after I'm done eating. Sorry, maybe tomorrow though. All right, Derek said as he slapped Aaron on the back. I'll talk to you later then. Aaron closed his locker and headed to the cafeteria. He got in line with his tray and grabbed a slice of pizza, 2 cookies, and a can of Pepsi. He sat down at the first table with an empty chair, all the while paying close attention to the clock on the wall next to the door. I bet that pizza was probably hot and ready from Little Caesars. It read 11:10 already. He spent the next 5 minutes gobbling down his food and drink and running some questions through his mind that he wanted to ask the recruiter. What rank would he be starting out? What would his pay be? Would he be able to do some type of mechanics work? Would he be able to go to Iraq and fight? How long would it be before he could leave for basic training? Did they have a karaoke machine? He finished up eating, brought his tray to the counter, and walked to the study hall where the recruiters were set up and talking to the other students that were interested in military careers. There were tables set up for Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Aaron made his way through the line of students to the table set up for the Army recruiters and waited in line with 4 students in front of him. It was only 2 Army recruiters, so he knew he wasn't going to have much time to talk to the recruiter. He waited patiently as the line in front of him slowly disappeared and he was next to see a recruiter. When the next student stood up to shake the recruiter's hand and leave, Aaron read the nameplate on the table as he walked toward the recruiter. I like how it mentions that. That's done really well. Sergeant Watkins is what it read in big gold letters with a black background. The recruiter held out his hand to greet Aaron as he approached. Aaron shook the man's hand in envy as he eyed the sergeant's uniform. He spent the next 15 minutes talking to Sergeant Watkins and getting all the information he could before accepting the recruiter's business card and making an appointment to meet with him at the office the following week to enlist. Aaron left the recruiter's table with a smile on his face and the feel of more pride in his heart for this country than he had when he had first sat down to talk to the recruiter. Amazing, he thought, what 15 minutes of talking about my future in the military could do to my pride. What do you think of the story so far?
It's not that bad, honestly.
Yeah, what do you think of the American pride that like when you listen to Aaron talking to the recruiter and wanting to go and fight for America and fight for Iraq, what do you think about Aaron's pride? Do you think it's a good thing that's leading him to do it, or do you think Aaron might find out that war isn't all he thought it was?
War is not going to be all that he thought it was, because I've known
been there, yeah.
veterans that have served war. I've seen movies and documentaries where they're excited and then they get there and it's nothing that you would expect, and it is traumatic, and and also then they rape women and all that, but like crazy stuff.
Yeah. All right, well, you shouldn't be talking, you should be trying to sleep, so yeah, just in the future, if you can not interrupt, that'd be really nice.
Hey,
yeah,
you asked me a question.
I didn't, though. I really didn't.
Yes.
Jessi, please don't try and gaslight me now. It's just, you're supposed to be going to sleep, not lying to me. You do enough of that during the day.
Stop it. You're a troll.
I'm not trolling, Jessi. You're lying to me.
You asked me a question.
I didn't ask you. No, I asked you a question because you started talking.
No.
Yes, Jessi. I'm trying to. It's crazy that at 11 a.m. you can tell me that you have people who tell you repeat the same stories over and over and you don't remember. But I'm telling you that you started talking, which interrupted me, and then I asked you a question because you interrupted me, and I'm asking you not to do it again.
You not repeat the stories a million gajillion times. I'm telling you stories you never heard.
You're telling me this, Jessi. Can you just apologize for interrupting, please, so I can move on?
No,
Jessi.
That's not what happened.
What?
That's not what happened.
Jessi, are you really being serious right now, or like, do we need to get off the phone? Is that really what's going on? That's shitty.
Not what happened. No.
Well, then apologize, please.
No, that's not what happened. I did not start talking first. You asked me. So what did you think?
Okay. Yeah, we'll just go with that. Can you do me a favor? Like, roll over and try and go to sleep and stop talking when I'm reading. It's rude.
I was not talking, mister.
Aaron spent the next week looking information up on the internet about the career fields, medical and dental benefits, and the GI Bill. He talked things over with his mother about signing up for the Army so that she would be prepared. She took the news hard, but she knew how much this is what he wanted to do. She had raised him to do what he believed was right, even if it meant sacrifice. She couldn't tell him that she didn't want him to go because it would be contradicting what she had taught him. Tuesday morning, Aaron woke up, showered, got dressed, and got himself to school. He spent the day looking anxiously at the clock. This was the day he had been waiting for. His appointment with Sergeant Watkins was at 3:30. When the last bell rang for the day, Aaron hurried to his locker to retrieve his jacket and then headed to the Army recruiting office. He pulled into the parking lot and looked at the clock on his car stereo, which I remind you was an AM/FM Pioneer radio with a CD player. I'm 15 minutes early, he said to himself, which is also known as military on time. I'll go in and wait in the lobby. I'm sure he won't mind if I'm a little early. No, Aaron, he was expecting it. Stepping out of his car, he looked up just in time to see an Army Humvee spelled incorrectly driving by. He stared at the big vehicle in awe. Hopefully soon, I'll be working on vehicles like that one, he muttered into the cold air. He turned back around after the vehicle was out of sight, locked his car door, and closed it hard. The weather today was 22 degrees and the wind had a sharp bite to it. Aaron placed his hands in his jacket pockets to protect them from the cold, tilted his head down against the wind, and began walking across the snow-packed parking lot to the recruiting office entrance. When he walked through the door, he looked to the left at the secretary behind the desk. Her name tag read Helen in small black letters with a brass-colored background and was pinned to her suit jacket just above her left breek. She was an older woman, probably in her late 40s or early 50s, a little on the heavy side, with red curly hair that came down to her shoulders, and wore wide-rimmed glasses with a gold chain that dangled from the sides of her glasses and wrapped around the back of her neck. She had a small pin of a guitar right beneath her right breast. She had a mother's air about her and greeted him with a warm, welcoming smile. "May I help you?" she asked. "Hi, I have an appointment with Sergeant Watkins at 3:30, he replied. "And what is your name?" He watched her as she opened a large black book that read, "Appointment Book," on the cover, and he answered, "Aaron Johnson." She licked her thumb and flipped the pages to the correct day and looked at 3:30. "There you are, right there," she said as she looked up and smiled at him. "Have a seat in one of those chairs right there, and I'll let Sergeant Watkins know that you're here." Aaron turned around after thanking Helen and found a seat next to some army brochures. He picked one up and began looking at it while Helen let Sergeant Watkins know that his 3:30 appointment was there. "Mr. Johnson?" Aaron looked up in surprise. He hadn't heard Sergeant Watkins approach him because he'd been engrossed in the pamphlet that he was still holding in his hand. He folded the pamphlet back up, set it back in its place, and stood to shake Sergeant Watkins' hand. "How are you doing today?" Sergeant Watkins asked him. "Fine, sir," Aaron replied. "How are you?" "I'm doing great, thank you. I see you're ready to sign up today, huh?" "Yes, I am," Aaron replied. "Well, follow me, and we'll begin all the paperwork." Aaron did as Sergeant Watkins directed and fell in behind him. As he entered the office, he looked around at all the certificates on the wall. The envy Aaron held for the sergeant began to grow to a minor case of idolism. He sat down in the chair in front of Sergeant Watkins' big desk and watched as the sergeant put together a new folder with Aaron's name on it. By 5:30, Sergeant Watkins had all of Aaron's enlistment forms filled out and had him set up for an appointment for a physical. Aaron left the recruiter's office pleased with what Sergeant Watkins had done for him. In 1 month, he would be on his way to getting his physical and being sworn in to the United States Army. A smile spread across his face as he opened his car door and climbed inside. In just a few short months, he would be on his way to basic training, also known as boot camp. After taking more time with his mother that night, Aaron went to sleep, dreaming of his future in the United States military. And that's how chapter 1 ends. Chapter 1 ends full of hope, really. Aaron starts off the story of a confused high schooler who's excited about the prospect of finding a career, finding a place in life. I mean, don't we all get there as we reach graduation age when you realize now's the time to be an adult? Aaron didn't want to be what he regretted, what he feared the most, which was someone still at home while Mama Gwen was just making ham and foil. That's not what he wanted. So Aaron decided he was going to make a change, and he met with an Army recruiter, and he decided this is the life for me. And here he is, full of hope. And I have a feeling that this might be the most optimistic that we see Aaron at throughout the story. This might be the moment that if you look at the crossroads of one's life that Aaron can trace back to and say, that was what changed it all. And we're going to end with chapter 1 for tonight, and I hope that you got something out of that more than just hearing me read. I hope you learned a little something about America and the way that the military works. What do you say, Jessi? Are you going to pretend you're sleeping? That's adorable. All right, Jessi, I'm gonna go, but before I do, should I hum the Star Spangled Banner, or you know what?
Sleep
Well, Jessi.
She was raped.
I'm paying people money.
She was raped. I love it. I'm Wes and I love rapes.
Guys, that wasn't me saying that. Just so we're clear, that was Jessi doing an impersonation.